I stand in the gleaming industrial kitchen of Taste & Co., my kitchen now, watching as health inspectors in white hazmat suits swarm through the space that once belonged to Olivia Parker. My finger hovers over the Instagram app on my phone, savoring the moment. The post is already prepared, a simple picture of Olivia's signature dessert, my dessert, with the caption, "Some recipes are worth dying for. Some thefts deserve justice. Hash Taste & Co. hash. Closure." The lead inspector approaches, clipboard in hand. "Miss Chen, we found exactly what you said we would. The kitchen fails at least 7 critical health code violations. We have no choice but to shut it down immediately." I nod, feeling nothing but cold satisfaction as I press share on the post. Across the room, Olivia's perfectly made-up face crumbles as she watches her empire collapse in real time. "This can't be happening," she whispers, her voice breaking. "Not again." But it is happening, and this time, I'm the one calling the shots. 3 years ago, I died because of her. In this life, I've made sure she'll pay for it. One stolen recipe at a time. My name is Julia Chen, and I've lived this life before. I died on May 17th, the day after my 32nd birthday. I remember every detail. The burning sensation spreading through my chest, the way my throat closed up, the cold tile floor against my cheek as I collapsed at the catering event. I remember my fingers scrabbling uselessly for the EpiPen in my purse as my vision tunneled to black. My last thought was simple confusion. How could there be pine nuts in a dish specifically prepared for someone with a severe nut allergy? Then nothing, until I woke up gasping, exactly 1 year earlier in my own bed. Lightning flashes through my apartment window as I sit up, heart pounding. My hands fly to my throat instinctively, finding no swelling, no constriction, just smooth skin and a pulse beating too quickly beneath my fingers. The bitter taste of almond extract still coats my tongue, a phantom sensation from my last meal. "What the hell?" I whisper to my empty bedroom. My phone sits on the nightstand, its screen illuminating with a new notification. With shaking hands, I pick it up to check the time. May 17th, 2022, exactly 1 year before my death. The notification is from Instagram, at Olivia Parker Chef has started following you, and just like that, it all comes rushing back. Every moment, every interaction, every stolen recipe and fake smile. The trajectory that led to my death is beginning again, right on schedule. Olivia Parker, celebrity chef, restaurant mogul, thief, murderer. I throw back the covers and pace my small apartment, mind racing. This can't be real. People don't just wake up a year in the past. But the alternative, that I somehow dreamed an entire year of my life in perfect detail, including my own death, seems even less plausible. In the kitchen, I flip on the light and open my laptop. My food blog is exactly as I remember it from a year ago. Modest following, decent engagement, nothing extraordinary. Except for my most recent post, my grandmother's almond cake recipe. The post that changed everything. The one that somehow caught Olivia's attention and set this whole nightmare in motion. I click through to Olivia's Instagram profile. 1.8 million followers, verified blue check, perfectly curated food photos interspersed with just enough candid moments to seem authentic. Her latest post shows her in her flagship restaurant, Taste & Co., smiling alongside a visiting celebrity chef. The caption reads, "Always looking for new inspiration. What are your favorite undiscovered flavors?" Hash Taste & Co. hash culinary innovation. Undiscovered flavors, that's what I was to her, a resource to exploit, not a person to respect. I slam the laptop closed and press my palms against my eyes. What am I supposed to do with this impossible second chance? Run away? Ignore her? Pretend none of it happened? No, not when I know what she's capable of. I take a deep breath and look around my kitchen. The worn countertops, the mismatched appliances, the shelf of carefully labeled spices. Above the stove hangs my most precious possession, my grandmother's handwritten recipe book, its pages yellowed and stained from decades of use. "I won't let her take this from us again, Grandma," I whisper. My hands stop shaking, my breathing steadies. Clarity washes over me like cold water. If this is real, if I've truly been given a second chance, then I'm not going to waste it. This time, I'm going to be ready for Olivia Parker. This time, I'll see the predator behind the smile. This time, I'll protect what's mine. I open my laptop again and create a new document. At the top, I type timeline. Below it, I begin reconstructing everything I remember from my first life, creating a detailed map of what's to come. Outside, the storm continues, lightning illuminating my determined face reflected in the window. By morning, I have a plan. The coffee shop is bustling with the morning rush when Olivia walks in, exactly as I knew she would. In my previous life, this meeting was the beginning of our friendship. The day I fell under the spell of her charm and industry connections, too flattered by her interest to see the calculation behind it. Today, I'm prepared. Julia? Her voice carries the same warm enthusiasm I remember, her smile perfectly calibrated to seem genuine. I'm Olivia Parker. It's so great to meet you in person. She looks exactly as I remember, tall, blonde, immaculately styled in casual, expensive clothes that probably cost more than my monthly rent. The kind of woman who makes everything look effortless while working tirelessly to maintain the illusion. Olivia, hi. I stand and offer my hand instead of the hug she's leaning in for. Professional, not familiar. Thanks for reaching out. This is David Kim, my attorney. He helps me with the business side of my blog. David, a college friend who agreed to this favor in exchange for dinner, gives a polite nod. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Parker. I'm a fan of your restaurants. It's worth the $100 I promised him just to see the flicker of confusion on Olivia's face. This isn't following the script she expected. The eager, starstruck food blogger grateful for attention from a culinary celebrity. An attorney? How professional. She recovers quickly, sliding into the chair across from us. I didn't realize your blog was at that level yet. It's not, really, I say with a deliberately self-deprecating smile. But my grandmother always said it's better to build the fence before the horse decides to wander. Smart grandmother. Olivia's eyes narrow slightly, reassessing me. Speaking of which, that almond cake recipe you posted, it's absolutely incredible. The 5-spice blend with the honey-infused almond cream, I've never tasted anything like it. In my first life, this compliment sent me over the moon. Now I hear the acquisition in her voice, the sound of someone who's already planning how to take what isn't hers. Family recipe, I say, keeping my tone light. My grandmother was very protective of it. I actually posted a simplified version. There are some techniques that didn't translate well to a blog format. I'd love to see the full version sometime. She leans forward, conspiratorial. Between us professionals, of course. David shifts beside me, playing his role perfectly. Julia's been very careful about which recipes she shares publicly. The traditional techniques in her family's cookbook have significant cultural and potential commercial value. Olivia blinks, her smile tightening almost imperceptibly. Oh, of course, I completely understand. She redirects smoothly, pulling out her phone. Actually, the reason I wanted to meet was to discuss featuring you on my Instagram. I do a series highlighting up-and-coming food creators, and your perspective on traditional Chinese recipes with modern influences is exactly the kind of fresh voice I love to elevate. And there it is, the same bait she used before. Exposure, connections, the chance to ride her coattails to culinary recognition. It worked the first time because it was everything I wanted. Even now, knowing what I know, the offer is tempting. Olivia's platform could catapult my career forward. But this time, I understand the price. That's really generous, I say carefully. I'd definitely be interested in discussing it. What kind of content would you be looking for? As she outlines her vision, the same mentorship program that led to my recipes being stolen before, I nod along, asking all the right questions while giving none of the answers she wants. David occasionally interjects with questions about intellectual property rights and content ownership that make Olivia's smile grow increasingly strained. By the time we finish our coffee, I've positioned myself exactly where I need to be. Interesting enough that she won't give up on me, but challenging enough that she'll have to work for what she wants. This has been so informative, I say as we prepare to leave. Let me think about the collaboration and get back to you next week? Of course. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes anymore. I'm really looking forward to working together, Julia. I think we could create something special. The irony of her words isn't lost on me. We will create something special together, just not what she's imagining. As we walk away, David leans close. She's exactly like you described. Charming, but cold underneath, like a knife wrapped in silk. You haven't seen anything yet, I tell him. That was just the opening move. Over the next few months, I walk a careful line with Olivia. I accept enough of her invitations and opportunities to keep her interested while never giving her what she really wants. Complete access to my grandmother's recipes. We develop a relationship that looks like friendship on the surface. She features me on her social media, introduces me to influential people in the food world, even invites me to exclusive industry events. To anyone watching, it seems like a successful mentorship. Established chef takes promising newcomer under her wing. But beneath the smiles and Instagram stories, we're playing chess. She probes for information about my techniques. I deflect with vague answers. She invites me to cook with her, carefully watching my methods. I deliberately leave out key steps or ingredients. She compliments my flavors effusively. I thank her while securing legal protection for my intellectual property. By September, I've filed all the necessary documentation to protect the unique aspects of my grandmother's recipes, the distinctive combinations, preparation methods, and presentation elements that make them special. David, who started as a prop but has become a genuine ally, connects me with a specialist in culinary IP law who helps strengthen my position. You're being paranoid, Olivia tells me over drinks one evening, her tone teasing but eyes calculating. No one's going to steal your recipes. Probably not, I agree with a smile. But my grandmother always said her recipes were her legacy. I'm just honoring that. Speaking of recipes, she says, swirling her wine, I'm finalizing the menu for my new Asian fusion concept at Taste & Company. I'd love your input. Completely credited, of course. Of course, I echo, knowing exactly what's coming. I'd be happy to taste test or provide general feedback. Just let me know when... Her smile tightens fractionally at my careful boundaries. We both know this dance by now. She pushes, I sidestep. But unlike before, I'm watching the calendar. The original theft happened in October, followed by our confrontation, then my death in May. The timeline is proceeding exactly as I remember it, which means I'm running out of time to spring my trap. The private tasting at Taste & Co. arrives right on schedule. Olivia's new Asian fusion menu featuring, surprise, a distinctive almond cake with honey-infused cream and a 5-spice blend that tastes exactly like my grandmother's recipe. This time, I'm prepared. The small recording device tucked into my purse captures everything as her executive chef presents each dish. When they bring out the dessert course, my heart pounds despite knowing exactly what's coming. And for our signature dessert, the chef announces, Chef Parker's honey almond cloud cake with 5-spice caramel. It's presented differently, deconstructed with modernist flourishes, but one bite confirms what I already know. This is my grandmother's recipe, stolen despite all my precautions. What do you think? Olivia asks, watching my face intently. I take another deliberate bite, chewing slowly to buy time as emotions surge through me. Rage, vindication, grief. In my previous life, I confronted her immediately, publicly, with tears and accusations that she easily deflected. This time, I stay calm. It tastes familiar, I say neutrally. It's inspired by various Asian dessert traditions, she says with practiced smoothness. You know I've been studying them for months. I take another bite, nodding thoughtfully. It's interesting. Did you develop the recipe yourself? Of course, she lies without hesitation. Though I did incorporate some techniques I've observed from various chefs I admire, including techniques she's never actually seen me use, the ones I deliberately kept hidden. Which means she's done exactly what I suspected, sent someone to hack into my laptop or search my apartment when I wasn't home. Well, it's delicious, I say with a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. Very innovative. The rest of the tasting passes in a blur of polite comments and careful notes. When it's over, Olivia walks me out herself. The official launch is next Friday, she says. I'd love for you to come. I'm acknowledging all my inspirations, and you've been such an important part of this menu's development. I wouldn't miss it, I tell her, the recorder still running in my purse. It's going to be quite an event. She has no idea just how right I am. The menu launch is packed with food critics, influencers, and industry insiders. Olivia holds court in the center of her restaurant, resplendent in a designer dress, accepting compliments on her innovative new dishes. The stolen almond cake is being praised as revolutionary and a perfect fusion of East and West. I circulate quietly, watching it all unfold exactly as before. The only difference is that this time I'm not here to cause a scene. I'm here to collect the final evidence I need. When Olivia spots me, she waves me over with a too bright smile. Julia, I was hoping you'd make it. What do you think of everything? It's impressive, I say truthfully, especially the almond cake. Everyone's talking about it. Thank you. She lowers her voice, suddenly conspiratorial. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. I know it might seem similar to your grandmother's recipe, but I promise the development process was completely independent. Really? I keep my voice even, aware of the recording app running on my phone in my pocket. Because it tastes identical. Her smile hardens. Similar techniques can lead to similar results, but you can't copyright a taste, Julia. There it is. The same dismissive line from before. In my first life, this was where I lost control, where I publicly accused her of theft and became the hysterical, jealous food blogger trying to claim credit for a famous chef's work. Instead, I smile. No, you're right. You can't copyright a taste. But you can protect distinctive production methods, unique ingredient combinations, and specific presentations, all of which I've documented extensively. Her expression shifts microscopically. What are you saying? I'm saying we should talk privately, soon, before this goes any further. A photographer approaches, asking for a picture of us together. Olivia's arm slides around my waist, her public persona snapping back into place. We both smile for the camera, a perfect image of mentor and protege. My office, tomorrow at 2, she murmurs through her smile. We'll sort this out. I nod, still smiling for the flash. Yes, we will. The confrontation is set, but unlike last time, it will happen on my terms, with my evidence secure and my position protected. No public scene, no character assassination, no mysterious allergic reaction days later. This time, I'm changing the ending. Olivia's office at Taste & Co. is exactly what you'd expect. Sleek, modern, with tasteful awards displayed on minimalist shelves and a view of the city that reinforces her status at every glance. She sits behind her desk like a queen on a throne, secure in her power. Julia, she begins with forced warmth. I think there's been a misunderstanding. I've always been supportive of your career. Let's skip that part, I interrupt, placing a folder on her desk. These are the trademark and intellectual property documents I filed 6 months ago, specifically protecting the unique aspects of my grandmother's recipes, including the almond cake you're now selling. She doesn't open the folder, just stares at me with recalculated interest. You can't trademark a taste. Actually, you'd be surprised what can be protected legally. Distinctive production methods, unique ingredient combinations, specific presentation formats. All things my lawyer helped me document thoroughly before you launched your original creation. Her face hardens. This is ridiculous. No court would side with a nobody food blogger over me. Maybe not before, but they might now. Especially with evidence that you deliberately stole the recipe after I declined to share it. I tap my phone, playing back part of our recorded conversation from the tasting, followed by her damning words from the launch. You can't copyright a taste, Julia. For the first time, I see fear flicker in Olivia's eyes. It's replaced quickly with calculation as she reassesses the situation. What do you want? Money? I want credit. I want you to publicly acknowledge where the recipe came from, and I want a formal partnership with appropriate compensation for any of my recipes you use going forward. She stares at me, mentally running through scenarios, looking for the angle that lets her win. And if I refuse? Then my lawyer files the lawsuit tomorrow. Your investors won't like the publicity. She leans back, the momentary vulnerability gone. You know what? Do it. Sue me. It'll be your word against mine, and by the time the case is resolved, if it ever goes to trial, My menu will have changed, and you'll be known as the bitter amateur who couldn't handle seeing similar ideas in professional execution. She stands, confidence restored. I've dealt with claims like this before, Julia. They never stick. But our friendship is obviously over, which is a shame. I really did see potential in you. The condescension in her voice is exactly what I remember, the same tone she used before when she thought she'd won, when she thought I was no threat. I'll see myself out, I say calmly. But Olivia, you might want to reconsider. The offer to settle this quietly won't stay open long. She smiles tightly. Goodbye, Julia. I wish you luck with your little blog. I leave her office knowing exactly what comes next, because I've lived it before. The quiet search into my background, the discovery of my severe nut allergy, the calculated accident at the catering event 3 days from now, except this time, I won't be the one who dies. The exclusive industry event is held at a gallery downtown, catered by one of Olivia's restaurant partners. Just like before, I receive a personalized invitation emphasizing that the menu will accommodate my allergy, a detail I've made sure is documented in emails and on the RSVP form. I enter the crowded space with hyper-aware senses, watching everything. The event is exactly as I remember it, a showcase of innovative culinary talents, featuring several up-and-coming chefs alongside Olivia's established brand. The dessert table features an array of petit fours, including several with nuts. Olivia spots me from across the room and makes her way over, all professional courtesy on the surface. Julia, I'm glad you could make it, she says, her tone suggesting we're still on good terms for any listeners nearby. I've had the kitchen prepare some special desserts for you, all nut-free, of course. I know how serious your allergy is. On cue, a server approaches with a specific tray. Miss Chen? Chef Parker prepared these specially for you, almond-free, as requested. I smile, taking the offered dessert but not eating it. How thoughtful. I'll enjoy this in a moment. I just need to finish a work email first. Olivia's eyes track the dessert, a flicker of anticipation crossing her face before she masks it. Of course, enjoy the event. As soon as she walks away, I slip the dessert into a small evidence bag in my purse. Later, I'll send it to a private lab for testing, where they'll confirm what I already know. Despite being labeled almond-free, it contains pine nut extract, exactly what triggered my fatal allergic reaction in my previous life. I spend the rest of the event avoiding food entirely, making excuses about a sensitive stomach. Olivia watches me from across the room, her expression growing increasingly tense as the night progresses without incident. When I leave, alive and well, I can feel her eyes on my back, confused, frustrated, recalculating. The next morning, I send the tainted dessert to the lab with rush processing. By evening, I have the results. Concentrated pine nut extract in a dessert specifically prepared for someone with a documented severe nut allergy. Not an accident, not cross-contamination, attempted murder. The evidence goes straight to my lawyer, along with the catering company's menu, showing that I specifically noted my nut allergy when RSVPing. Then I disappear. For 3 days, I'm completely off the grid. No social media, no phone calls, no trace. I stay with a cousin in another city, our family connection distant enough that Olivia would never think to look for me there. I know she'll be watching the news, waiting to hear about my unfortunate allergic reaction. Meanwhile, my lawyer files emergency injunctions against all of Olivia's restaurants, citing the attempted poisoning along with the recipe theft. The documentation is comprehensive. My original recipes with timestamps, the recorded conversations, the lab results from the dessert, everything. On the 4th day, I reappear at a major food industry event where Olivia is being honored as Innovative Chef of the Year. I time my entrance perfectly, slipping in just as she takes the stage to accept her award. The color drains from her face when she sees me walk in, very much alive, and flanked by my lawyer and 2 police officers. Her speech falters mid-sentence, the crystal award clutched in her suddenly white-knuckled grip. Thank you all for this incredible honor. She recovers, professional smile back in place, though several shades paler. It means the world to have my creativity recognized by my peers. The irony of her words hangs in the air as the police officers move toward the stage. I stay back watching as her perfect world begins to unravel. You look like you've seen a ghost, Olivia, I say when she steps down, my voice carrying just enough for nearby attendees to hear. The police officers approach her. "Miss Parker, we need you to come with us for questioning regarding an attempted assault charge." Phone cameras emerge instantly. The whispers start. The perfect social media scandal unfolds in real time, exactly as I planned. As they escort her past me, her eyes lock with mine, hatred mingling with a new emotion. Fear. "How did you know?" she whispers, just for me to hear. I smile, the kind of smile she used to give me, sweet on the surface, cold underneath. "Let's just say I've seen this recipe before, and I knew exactly how it would taste." The headlines break the next morning. Celebrity chef Olivia Parker questioned in poisoning investigation. Taste & Co. empire rocked by allegations of recipe theft and attempted assault. Rising food blogger claims star chef stole family recipes, then tried to silence her. It spreads faster than I could have imagined. Former employees emerge with stories of abuse and exploitation. The 3 other chefs whose recipes Olivia stole join my lawsuit, creating a class action that her investors can't ignore. One by one, her restaurant partners distance themselves. Her TV network puts her show on hiatus. Her cookbook publisher cancels her contract. Her Instagram following, once 2.3 million strong, hemorrhages as the scandal grows. Meanwhile, I launch my own venture, a small restaurant called Chen's, featuring my grandmother's authentic recipes, each now properly protected. The contrast between us grows sharper, the authentic creator versus the exploitative thief. My story resonates with the public in a way Olivia's carefully constructed image never did. 3 months after our confrontation, Olivia's flagship restaurant, Taste & Co., faces bankruptcy. This is where my ultimate revenge takes shape. Through a shell company created by my lawyer, I make an offer to buy Taste & Co. from her desperate investors. They accept quickly, eager to distance themselves from the scandal. Only when the papers are signed does Olivia discover who the new owner is. By then, it's too late. The restaurant that was supposed to be the crown jewel of her empire now belongs to me. I rename it Taste & Co. by Julia Chen, keeping just enough of the original branding to twist the knife. The menu features all my grandmother's recipes, now with my name prominently displayed as creator. Each dish tells part of our family story, the history Olivia tried to erase and exploit. Which brings us back to today. The health inspection I arranged through connections I made while building my own reputation in the industry. The violations I knew existed because I'd heard Olivia's former employees talk about them in my previous life. As Olivia watches her kitchen being officially shut down, I approach her, phone still in hand, Instagram post now live and gathering thousands of views per minute. "You can't copyright a taste," I tell her, echoing her words from before, "but you can trademark a legacy, and you can definitely prosecute a thief." She stares at me, hatred mingling with a grudging respect. "How did you know? About the inspection? About everything?" For a moment, I consider telling her the truth, that I lived this all before, that she killed me in another timeline. But some truths are too strange even for enemies to share. "Let's just say I learned from the best," I reply instead. "You taught me that in this industry you have to be ruthless to survive." As she's escorted out of what was once her kitchen, I feel the weight of both lives on my shoulders. The naive food blogger who died trusting the wrong person, and the calculated businesswoman I've become. Both versions of me contributed to this moment of justice. 6 months later, my restaurant empire has grown to 3 locations. The story of how I reclaimed my grandmother's recipes became a Netflix documentary. My cookbook, Family Recipes: The Chen Legacy, tops the New York Times bestseller list. Olivia has largely disappeared from public life. Occasionally, I see her name attached to small consulting projects or guest appearances at second-tier food events. Her dramatic fall serves as a cautionary tale in culinary schools about the importance of attribution and authentic creation. I've achieved everything I set out to do in this second life. Justice for my family's legacy, success on my own terms, revenge against the woman who literally got away with murder in another timeline. But late at night, alone in my apartment, now much larger and more luxurious than before, I sometimes wonder about the person I've become. The ruthlessness I embraced, the coldness I cultivated to survive. I pull out my grandmother's handwritten recipe book, the original, not the published version, and run my fingers over her faded handwriting. I remember her in the kitchen, telling me that food was never just about taste. It was about bringing people together, about sharing love through flavors. Would you recognize me now, Grandma? I whispered to the empty room. Would you approve of what I've done with your recipes? There's no answer, of course. Just the lingering scent of almond extract and 5-spice from the test kitchen down the hall, and the knowledge that, in this life at least, her legacy will be remembered correctly, and sometimes that feels like enough. Other times, I wonder what it would have been like to simply share the recipes, to let people enjoy them without all the drama and vengeance. To be the Julia from my first life, naive perhaps, but more joyful. Tomorrow, I'll announce my newest restaurant concept. But tonight, I bake my grandmother's almond cake just for myself. No cameras, no social media, no revenge plot. Just flour and sugar and that distinctive blend of spices that started everything. And it tastes like home. It tastes like justice. It tastes like both loss and victory. And this time, I'm alive to enjoy every bite.
The D&B. So that's it. So the birds are done. The good news is that vanilla or Kit Kat or Turtles creamer makes any drink. Ooh. I like a sweet little beverage. Please don't scratch out my page. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Here it is. Meow, meow, meow. We did it. I've had a doctor, human doctor, think I had ED. He just stared at me, trying to figure out how to ask what. They don't have creamers in Europe. Yeah, this is, I never was, why does it keep playing this damn, why does it keep defaulting to playing that thing next? No, you leave me alone. Go away, go away, go away, go away, you go away, you go away, you go away, you go